We are talking about the massive changing media landscape and the drop in the ratings. And maybe that's due to trust. Maybe it's due to media fatigue.
The media, it wasn't even biased media anymore. It became activist media. And if you were not believing or you were questioning what the media narrative was, you all of a sudden were a conspiracy theorist, a liar, you were evil. It became very aggressive, the rhetoric towards people, when the entire purpose of journalism is to question the prevailing narrative. That's the basis of it. And when all of a sudden the media landscape changes from questioning those in power, questioning authority, to if you do question, you're some sort of wacko out there, conspiracy theorist, then you no longer have media and journalism. You have propaganda and activism.
Down conservative, liberal, moderate, it's just down. People just have said enough. They've thrown their hands in the air. Now we'll see what happens 2022. We know it's an election season, and really the litmus test will be in 2024. You always see a surge. But during the Trump administration also, Will, you brought this up in our meeting. During the Trump administration, it felt like, when we talked about this, that we never left a election year.
Right.
In terms of the way we broadcast, in terms of everyone broadcasts. Typically, there's a heated 18 months from primaries to the election. Then the president comes in, and not unlike Joe Biden, it'd be different if it wasn't a pandemic, but not unlike Joe Biden, it's not someone who's in your face every day. And I don't know if we've learned to live with a president that isn't in your face every day, creating a media story that either the left hates and the right loves every day. So we are kind of reverting back to maybe where people go, yeah, that wasn't necessarily the healthy thing to do.
Even the subscriptions to the New York Times and to these outlets that were opposed to President Trump, they got a big boost in revenue, in subscribers, in eyeballs, in listeners across the board throughout the Trump presidency. Now, a lot of it was because there were media manufactured crises happening left and right all the time to keep those numbers artificially inflated. Yeah. But a lot of that does go to the fact that the media wasn't allowing themselves to get out of the election cycle. What did we hear about for 4 years? 2016 election. They never got away from 2016. Yeah. And then when you couple that with the pandemic that happened last year in the middle of an election season, these stories were not typical. It wasn't a typical news cycle. It was on red alert all the time. And now that it is coming down off of the election season throughout this year, while you still have the pandemic, there's a fatigue in that type of news. People aren't looking every single day to see the latest numbers on that. But it is very newsworthy. It is a global pandemic, so it's hard for the reporters to necessarily get away from that. Yeah. All that being said, it is going to be curious what happens next year in just a few days when we see an election year really ramp up, where the spending from candidates is going to happen, the spending from the parties is going to happen.
There are certain broadcasts, and we're seeing those people, in the comments listing who they do still listen to. What it seems like a lot of the turnoff is the news. People can get over people's opinion because we understand that a Hannity, Tucker, Maddow, and even someone like an Anderson Cooper or Don Lemon or what was Chris Cuomo, you kind of understand when you turn those on, you're getting that person's opinion. So I think we've been okay with that we've seen the numbers drop. Where I think people have really lost their trust is the people who show themselves as the straight newsman who's going to give it to you exactly how it is. It doesn't really exist